Hey guys, welcome to another question and answer. So one thing I want to show you guys, check these out. These are called ice cream bananas. The only place I've ever found these is in Hawaii. And they literally have a taste of like a bland ice cream flavor. So what I do is I take them, I put them in the refrigerator, and I let them chill for a little while. And it's almost like a little dessert. And they have I guess it would be like some very little black seeds in them, like tiny. But they are delicious. They do have a different type of like consistency versus a regular banana. But they also have apple bananas here as well. And they have a hint of apple flavor to them. It's really cool. The different types of fruits that you can find in these tropical places is just amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna dive in to some of you guys' questions, and just as a mandatory disclaimer, this is not medical advice, it's not intended to prevent, cure, diagnose, or treat any disease or condition, and is simply for educational purposes only. So here we go. Okay, let's dive in. So first is Brad. I did 14 and a half months, mostly fruit, via Morse's protocol, and I've thought about doing what you're doing, but for more practical detox that focuses on systems. He did not talk enough about the energy part of detox that causes the toxins to stick to begin with, plus surviving healing crisis and knowing when to come off and on the fruit diet. I'm luckily a breath coach. That is probably the best modality to move stagnant energy. And Della also asked about wanting to know more about detox symptoms and healing crisis. So when we detox, this is very taxing to our body. When we switch to all fruits or we're transitioning, cleansing out and detoxing is real exhausting because you're pulling all these toxins out, and if they're not being eliminated in a fast enough manner, then your body starts to become sluggish, you have low energy. I've had a lot of clients experience this. But once you start cleaning out a little bit, the energy levels start going up, and you'll have more and more energy. Now, what happens is, as we're eating these fruits, like your grapes, lemons, limes, grapefruits, whatever fruits you're eating, these have astringents, and they're tugging and pulling on tissue to break up and release this acidic waste. That way it can be transported to the lymphatic system, then to the lymph nodes, and then to either to the skin to be sweated out or to the kidneys to be filtered and eliminated as urine. But now what happens if we're detoxing really hard and we're not sweating enough or we're not filtering enough? What's going to happen to us is we're going to have a major blowback effect. And this is what we call a healing crisis. And we can develop things such as headaches, nausea that makes us want to vomit this acid up. We can have chills, we can have tingling, we can experience more pain symptoms. Also, you can have a fever. Your body will initiate a fever to try to make you sweat more. You could have diarrhea. You could experience all of this, more mucus coming out of the nostrils. All of these things are to get this acidity out of the body, because you're not sweating enough or you're not filtering enough to get it out on your own. So if you experience these healing crises, you can slow them down a bit by coming off of the fruits a little bit. So there's two ways to do it. You could either fast for like a day, just some water fasting. That way you'll flush out these toxins and acids that you've pulled out of tissue. So that way it can give them time to be eliminated before going on fruit again and to start breaking them up again. Then you'll have more to eliminate, okay? So when you're gonna eat your fruits, you're starting to pull things out of tissue and it needs to be eliminated. If it's not eliminated fast enough, you can develop a healing crisis. So if you find one of these healing crises is coming on, pull back a little bit on the fruit. You can either do a water fast to kind of flush some of this acidity out without breaking up more, or you can slow the detox process down by eating like some steamed or cooked vegetables. Just don't cook them to death. Now, if you're having like real severe detox symptoms, you can completely turn the detox process off by eating something like a sweet potato, some quinoa, some buckwheat, like a really cooked food. And that'll turn your detox process off. That way it'll give you enough time to eliminate this waste out of the body. So just be mindful whenever you're doing these things that it is a transition, it is a process to eliminating all of this waste out of our body. It's not gonna happen overnight, it's not gonna happen in a week, 2 weeks. I mean, just think of how old you are. If you're 30 years old, 40, 50, 60, however old you are, you have this many years of built up acidity throughout your body. It's gonna take time. A lot of these cases like this, I mean, to see some really drastic changes take a year or more. So it's a journey, it really is. So just be mindful, and when you have a healing crisis come on, you'll know, oh, okay, this is why I'm experiencing this, so I need to go sweat more, or I need to filter more. If not, I need to pull back on my detox and turn it down a little bit to eliminate until I eliminate what's been broken up throughout my body. So I hope this helps, Brad and Della. Thank you for your questions. Okay, so Tammy says step-by-step process for cancer. Okay, so basically all cancer is it's just a name used to describe damaged cells. So all we're talking about here is some damaged cells. And it's like, I think it's like 1 billion damaged cells before they can pull it up on their scans and label you with the scary C word. So just talking about some damaged cells, what's damaging the cells in the first place? Well, there's only two sides of chemistry, either acids or bases. Well, it's not the base side that's causing damaged cells, it's the acidic side. So where are these acids coming from? One, from the acidic foods that we're consuming, and two, from our metabolitic acids. This is our cells. They eat nutrition. We have about 100 trillion cells. They consume nutrition and they break down and excrete waste. Okay, so we have these dietary acids and these metabolitic acids sitting in the fluids that surround all of our cells. And these acids sit at about a 3 pH. So if you have 1 billion damaged cells, you got a lot of acid buildup in the body. The lymphatic system is backed up through and through. The lymph nodes are probably backed up, and you're not eliminating. Basically, your body's suffocating on its own waste, and it's chewing away at cells, breaking them down, and this is what you're developing. It's just a bunch of dead and damaged cells. So how do we flush out the lymphatic system? How do we pull the plug? Just think of the lymphatic system as a bunch of sewer pipes. And it's a massive system all throughout your body. It's 4 times the size of your venous system. So just think of a bunch of sewer pipes all throughout your body, and they're all clogged. Well, you got 2 valves to eliminate this through, either through your urine or through your sweating. Okay? Now, cleaning out the bowels is important too, but we're going to focus mainly on sweating and urinating. So Dr. Morse, anytime he has this kind of issue with clients going on, he'll go 30 days all grapes. Now, some people can't handle all that because they're not eliminating fast enough and they have massive blowbacks. So if you have to slowly transition, that's fine. But slowly transition more and more raw. I'd really jump on this as soon as you can, as fast as you can, and work on opening those channels of elimination. Work on sweating. Multiple ways to sweat. Get out and do some cardio. The only way you can move your lymphatic system is by you moving. You got to pump your calf muscles. That's the only way you can pump your lymphatic system. It's a self-pump system. So get out, move, get out and go move. This will help you clean out the lungs because you're going to be breathing heavy, but also it's going to help you sweat. You go out for a walk, put a sauna suit on, put a jacket, 2 jackets, 3 jackets on. Try to make yourself sweat. Other things you can do to sweat is take a steam shower. Make it really hot in there. Close the door, make it steam. Do some deep breathing while you're in the shower. And really try to open up the pores of the skin and sweat. You get out the shower, wrap yourself in a blanket or put a hoodie and some long pants on and try to sweat even more. You got to get this waste out. If you don't get it out, it's just going to sit in you and continue to damage more cells. You got to get the acid out. Other things you can do to sweat, not first choice, but saunas, steam rooms. Do what you have to do with those. They're not the favorite. If you can just get out and sweat naturally, that'd be the best way to do it. You can also do like Epsom salt baths, where you sit and the salt will help draw out some of the acidity through the pores of the skin. As far as getting the kidneys to filter, this is going to come with having the raw food diet. The more raw you're going to go, the more it's going to work on cleaning those kidneys, so that way they start filtering more and get the adrenal glands turned on, so that way they can control the kidneys to filter again. It is a process. I would just try to swap over to that raw diet as quick as you can, but you got to make sure that you're eliminating. Got to make sure you're eliminating. So I hope this makes sense, Tammy, and thank you for your question. Let's see. Sunday asks, difficulty to fall asleep at night. So anytime we're dealing with sleeping issues, it's two glands: your adrenal glands that produce neurotransmitters that send signals to the brain, and they control kidney filtration, but two, your pineal gland. See, as the sun goes down, your pineal gland produces melatonin, and this is when you start to get tired as the sun goes down. But then as the sun comes up and you see daylight coming out the window, this turns the pineal gland and its production of melatonin off, and this is your cue to wake up. So this is why they make the melatonin supplements, because it helps get you a little tired. Well, just correct your pineal gland, and then it'll start producing melatonin efficiently again. But in order to do this, again, you have to clean out that head area. You have to detox. Going on the raw food diet for a little while, that's the base. But then also you're having to eliminate this acid waste out of your body that is suppressing the function of the pineal gland and the adrenal glands. So all of these issues are basically the same root cause, and they're all the same process. It's simply going on back to eating the foods that are designed for the Homo sapiens species and working on eliminating this acid out in the body. It's just different chemistry stores in different parts of the body. It suppresses different organs and glands, and we produce different symptoms. And that's all that's happening. But as you clean out and flush out this lymphatic system by going on the raw foods, because they're detoxifying, and working on sweating, filtering, cleaning out the bowels, and cleaning out the lungs, this is where we start to see more and more improvements with these issues. So I hope this helps you a little bit, Sunday, and thank you for your question. All right, let's go to the next one. Neil says, how to follow a raw diet in a cold climate when the desire is to eat hot cooked food in order to warm the body. Yeah, that would be pretty difficult. I remember in winter, it's definitely harder for me to drink more fluids, but also eat more raw. So what I particularly do in this case is I won't put my fruit like in the refrigerator. I'll leave it out. That way it's not cold. It's just kind of room temperature, which makes it a little bit easier. And also doing like some teas, some hot teas, herbal teas, that'd be great. At least you're getting your herbs in that way. Now, as far as, because I mean, we're an islander species. I mean, we're not designed to live in the cold climates. You know, we don't have the furs and the hair like, you know, those animals like polar bears and stuff that live in the cold climates to keep us warm. Yeah, that's kind of a tough one, Neil. I would just try to keep the fruits at the room temperature, but it's also has to do a lot with the willpower, and you're trying to accomplish a goal with detoxing, cleansing out your body. And I know going in a colder climate makes it a bit more difficult and harder to do, but I mean, sometimes we just gotta buckle down and really just hit it hard and know that we have a goal in mind and nothing's gonna stop us from achieving that goal. And so I don't know what else to say about that one, Neil, man. But I hope this helps a little bit. But I do thank you for your question, and I hope you stay warm out there, man. Okay, let's go. Rebecca Would love to hear more about how if blood sugar and insulin levels are impacted by sucrose in fruits. Have noticed drastic spikes whether consuming cake or fruit. Okay, so I've worked with quite a few people with the blood sugar issues, and your fruits have a lot of fructose, and the fructose does not require insulin to carry the fructose molecule to the cell. Glucose does. So one thing you can do is play with your fruits a little bit, see which ones will spike your levels up more than others. Stick to the ones that don't spike it up as high to start with. Now, this is an adrenal gland problem anytime you're dealing with blood sugar issues, because your adrenal glands metabolize sugars. So if your adrenal glands are suppressed and they're not metabolizing sugar, then all that glucose is just going to sit in your bloodstream, and that's what's keeping your blood sugar levels elevated like that. So definitely have to clean out and strengthen those adrenal glands. I know Dr. Morse has the adrenal gland formulas, so that will be great to help strengthen those up, turn them back up, have them functioning and metabolizing sugar again. But again, the base is always going to be the raw food diet. If you have to slowly transition a little bit, that's fine. If you have to have I would say some cooked vegetables, but they have more of the glucose in them than the fructose. So I would just go more of the fruits. That's what I've done with all the people that have worked with me with the blood sugar issues, and we just monitor their blood sugars. If it starts to get a little too high, then we'll cut the fruits for a little bit. We'll do a little fasting until the blood sugars come back down a bit. But as you clean out and strengthen these adrenal glands, you'll notice the blood sugars drop a lot quicker back to normal levels, and then they start to stay there. It is a process. Like, don't get scared at first if you eat a little bit of fruit and it spikes it up and you're like, oh my goodness, this is, not good. It is a process, but you have to strengthen and clean out those adrenal glands. And the only way you can do that is by consuming regenerative foods such as your fruits, berries, and melons. Now, also work on your elimination of this acid waste that's suppressing the adrenal glands. 50% diet, 50% elimination. You have to be sweating and you have to be filtering. If you're not doing either one of those, this waste can't go anywhere. It's just going to stay within us, and it's going to continue to break down our bodies, and more symptoms pop up, and the symptoms we have get worse. So really take strong emphasis on trying to sweat every day. Like, it's a job. This is a job. Cleaning out your body and repairing it, it takes a lot of physical work, a lot of effort to doing it. The raw diet's not too hard because we all love fruit. It's the elimination side, having to get out, go do cardio, go walk, taking hot showers, Epsom salt baths, doing a little sauna work, doing some lymphatic drainage massage, doing some dry brushing. All of these, it takes physical work and it takes time, but this is what's required in order to get this waste out of our body. So detox the adrenal glands, strengthen them up. You could try Dr. Morse's adrenal gland formula. You can also throw in the kidney formulas with that, and I think he has a pancreas formula as well to help with the insulin production, and the lymphatic formulas. So there's several formulas and herbs that can help with kind of speeding this cleansing process up a bit for you. So I hope that helps you a little bit, Rebecca, and thank you for your question. Okay, let's go to Linda, sorry, I'm very sorry, Linda. Teeth shifting, weak nails, hair loss, and bloating. Sometimes it gets worse with just eating raw. I thought it was detox, but not sure. Okay, so any type of teeth shifting, what's causing things to shift in our body? Acids. Acids pull and tug our bodies out of line. Now, weak nails, this is parathyroid gland. Our parathyroid gland controls calcium utilization. This is also part of the teeth shifting. It's connective tissue weakness in the gum area. The teeth are moving because the connective tissues in the gums are not strong enough to hold the teeth in place. So parathyroid gland is weak. We can take like a parathyroid glandular to help strengthen that parathyroid a little bit, but its main function is to utilize calcium to keep connective tissue strong. We need calcium to keep connective tissue strength. And again, the more raw you can get on, the better results you're going to see with cleaning out and detoxing the parathyroid, and work on opening your channels of elimination. Now, the hair loss, again, there's a lot of congestion in the head area because we're seeing suppression in the parathyroid gland. So this whole area is backed up. Your lymphatic system is backed up. Your sewage system is clogged. You've got to clean it. So we've got to cut the acidic foods that are coming in, causing more acid buildup and congestion. Cut those foods out, switch over to the hydrating alkaline foods. That way we can get all of this waste to start flowing down towards the kidneys, or to get it sweated out, sweating it out. Okay? Only way you're going to get it out is sweating or getting your kidneys to filter. It's the only two ways. Now, if you're having some bloating, this comes from a backed up GI tract, because what's happening is you have 27 feet of intestines, and there's most likely food impactions, mucoid plaque buildup all along the walls of the bowels. And what's happening is the bowels are backed up, and we're consuming fruit, but the fruit cannot go through the bowels because there's this plaque, there's impactions, and the food is literally fermenting. The fruit is fermenting, and it produces gas, bloating. So, and the more fruit we're gonna consume, the more it's gonna back up our GI tract and create more bloating. So what we have to do is we have to really focus on cleaning out the bowels a bit. Doing more juices at this time until you can clean some of this out. Not really any solid foods, because you just could keep backing it up if you're already backed up. You can also try Dr. Morse's GI formulas he has. He has some great ones to get the bowels moving. Now, this is also an adrenal gland problem as well, because your adrenal glands control your autonomic nervous system, which controls things you don't have to think about, such as the contractions of the colon to move this waste down the track. So, and if you're like backed up like that, you can also do like enemas, things like that, just to unclog. Once you can get the bowels opened up to where the bloating has come down a bit, going towards the all raw food diet would be ideal until you can really clean out and repair any damage that's been done to the bowels from any of this plaque or just food impactions in general. So I hope this helps a bit, Linda, and thank you for reaching out with your question. Okay, let's go. Karen says, David, I would like a video about muscle wasting and how a person, especially a man, who may even be more sensitive about it, can detox and not lose too much muscle or become emaciated. Weight loss is a normal byproduct for many people on a detox diet, and extreme weight loss and loss of muscle is often attributed to the breakdown phase, but I don't agree that this is necessary. I've seen too many people lose weight and muscle mass to what I consider to be an unhealthy level. So when we detox, the foods we're consuming on detox, fruits, berries, melons, some raw vegetables, these are your most nutrient dense foods on the planet. Look at all the biggest, strongest animals in the world. They all eat plants, okay? We're no different. So when we see someone and we go on a detox protocol, we are losing inflammation weight, we're losing excess water weight that's all there to neutralize acids, we're losing glycogen stores in the muscles, and it causes us to look flattened. We're not losing actual cellular tissue, because I do this all the time because I still do bodybuilding. And when I go all raw, I will just flatten out. I won't lose any muscle tissue, because as soon as I start consuming like some starches again, like sweet potatoes, quinoa, maybe like some purple rice or wild rice, I will start to fill my frame back out, and I will go right back to the size I was previously. But they're not detoxifying foods. They're adding the glycogen stores, a little water retention, a little inflammation back to the body to keep the muscle bellies looking full. So during the detox process, you're not actually losing cellular tissue. You're losing a lot of this water, inflammation, glycogen stores, these types of things. And any weight you're going to lose, it's all toxic and acidic weight. Your body's not flushing away healthy cells. It's flushing away damaged cells. It's flushing away excess mucus out of the body, any inflammation, just anything that's stored that it doesn't need, that's preventing it from repairing and rebuilding itself. So go on a raw diet for a little while. You lose a little bit of weight, heal your body up a bit, feel good, feel great. You can start incorporating some of those other foods back in to put a little bit more weight back on you to where you're happy. And you kind of go back and forth. That's what I do with it. You can also increase the amount of food you're consuming to keep the calories up. And I switched a lot towards juices because it's so easy for me to just drink like a 12-ounce vegetable juice, green juice, than to sit there and eat a huge salad, because your greens are going to have a little bit more aminos and calcium, things needed for connective tissue and muscles, than the fruits. The fruits are going to be more detoxifying. So if you feel like you're detoxing too fast and getting too small, switch a little more over towards the vegetables. It'll slow the detox down a bit, but it'll help preserve some of this muscle mass and strength a bit more. All right, so thank you, Karen, for your question. All right, let's do another one. Okay, how to grow more stem cells in bone marrow. Okay, so a stem cell is just a specialized cell. So if you're trying to build, whether it's red blood cells or white blood cells, whichever ones, you got to have the right nutrition coming in order to create new cells. And hemoglobin is what creates everything, whether it's bone, muscle, skin, all tissue is created from hemoglobin. Now, what creates hemoglobin? Well, we need different types of vitamins and minerals, like through chlorophyll, oils, poly and unsaturated oils, water, and some type of like a salt, like a mineral salt. And these things, which we get a lot of our salts, so they're already balanced through our fruits and our vegetables, but these in combination create hemoglobin, and hemoglobin creates everything else. I once worked with a woman who had like low white blood cells and wanted to do all these extensive tests and whatnot. And 2 weeks later, you just putting them on the fruit diet and the raw diet, white blood cells raised themselves back up and they were in normal levels and didn't have to do any further testing. So it's just basically going back to eating the foods that are designed for us. So I hope that helps a little bit, Thelma, and thank you for your question. All right, let's see. All right, let's go. Okay, Margot says, tick illness, chronic late stage brain and body inflammation, can't digest fiber very well, not sure how to go about raw diet. Okay, so if you're having any type of like an illness from a tick bite or anything, just know that that's chemistry from the tick that's now interacting with your chemistry, and it's producing a symptom. And symptoms are always coming from the lymphatic system being backed up. So if you're dealing with body inflammation throughout the body and in the head area, yeah, it's just your lymphatic system's clogged up, it's backed up. If you can't digest fiber very well, GI tracts are back, the GI tract is backed up as well. So kind of have a full body, just backed up system. The whole thing is backed up, it's clogged. So first thing that needs to be done is cleaning out the lymphatic system. You gotta unclog this sewage system so all this waste can drain out of the body. Again, how do we do that? Getting the kidneys to filter. More of your raw foods will help turn the kidneys back on to start filtering out this waste, they're detoxifying. But also, you got to work on sweating. It's so important to sweat. would focus more on the sweating aspect than the filtering, because if you're not filtering, it's going to take a little time to get those kidneys turned back on. Whereas you can go out today and start sweating. Go walk, hot showers to get the pores open, Epsom salt baths, saunas, steam rooms, putting a hoodie or two on, a sauna suit on when you go outside and you walk, just anything to get your body sweating. You got to get this waste out of you. As you get it out, you'll start noticing this inflammation and these symptoms you're experiencing start to go down and down and down. Now, if you're having some trouble with the raw diet all at once, take it slow. Transition. Have a little bit more vegetables in there, a little bit more salads. If doing just a raw diet is still a little hard for you, then start off with switching to something like some sweet potatoes, quinoa, buckwheat, amaranth. You can also do like some purple wild rice with the fruits, the berries, the melons, the vegetables. Just don't mix them together. Fruits, berries stay in one category to be eaten alone. Melons are always eaten alone, and keep your starches eaten alone, away from everything else. Food combinations are very important as well. Now, to clean out the bowels, you can do something like the GI formulas Dr. Morse has to help you kind of flush out. Doing a bit more of the fruit juices for now, maybe a day or two on just a fruit juice, fruit smoothie fast, just to well, not the smoothies if you're having a hard time with the fiber. I would do just the juices, just to kind of clean out some of the GI tract. Maybe there's some mucoid plaque buildup, some food impactions in there as well. Remember, we have 27 feet of intestines, so you can put a lot of food in there, and if it's not flowing how it should, then, if your adrenal glands control the contractions of your colon, because it controls your autonomic nervous system. So you probably have some adrenal gland suppression, because if you're having inflammation all throughout your body and your brain, the kidneys are probably not filtering efficiently. So therefore, that's an adrenal gland weakness as well. So you can try the adrenal gland formula as well with Dr. Morse, as well as the lymphatic formulas. So you got the adrenal gland, the lymphatic, the kidneys, and the GI tract formulas that can all aid you in this process. Take it slow with the diet, transition if you need to. Really, really work on sweating. 50% diet, 50% elimination. So I hope this helps a bit, Margot, and thank you for your question. Okay, we'll get one more out the way. Jessica, what to do about detox symptoms that don't go away and you feel worse than when you started? So wonder if you have damaged your body. No, so if you're experiencing detox symptoms that won't go away, you're not eliminating fast enough. You're not eliminating this waste as fast as it's being broken and pulled out of tissue. So you need to hit the elimination side of this process harder. You gotta go out and you gotta sweat. Again, cardio, put a hoodie on, 2 hoodies on, a sauna suit, whatever you need to get sweating. You can do saunas, you can do steam rooms, you can do Epsom salt baths, take a hot shower, get out, wrap yourself in a blanket or put a hoodie and some long pants on, just sweat even more. You got to get this waste out. Work on getting your kidneys to filter, urinate in a clear glass. See if you see any particles or cloudiness in the urine. You can also make sure that the GI tract is cleaned out. You're not having any bloating, any gas, no hardness, nothing's backed up. And work on some deep breathing. Deep breathing will help clean out the lungs as well. Any which way you can hit this. And also your menstrual cycle too. You can see if you're having a heavy flow or a light flow. If it's a heavy flow, you're more acidic in that pelvic region. If it's a lighter flow, well, you're less acidic. So you have 5 channels of elimination to get this waste out of your body. And this is how you'll start to see these detox symptoms improve more and more as you clean out and get this waste, emptied out of the body. So, all right, so that's all the questions that I have today, guys. I love doing this. Like, this is so great, and we can help so many people because there's so many sick people on this planet. And I'm tired of seeing people sick and suffering. Like, the world needs to hear this message. And, there's so many of us out there that are trying to help others with this. And You know, the natural health is where it's at. That's how we're designed by nature and by the universe, and that's what we have to turn to in terms of health. But it does take work. It's not an easy thing to detox and cleanse the body, because we're so damaged and backed up these days that it's an art to it. You have to clean a little bit, then back up, then hit it hard, clean up, back up. It's a 2 steps forward, 1 step back, constant, back and forth, until you can finally get on that all raw, all fruit, berry, melon, some vegetable diet, to where you won't have any symptoms, you feel great, you feel amazing, your skin is very vibrant, you know, you're happy, you're healthy, you're full of self-love and joy. And that's what this whole journey is about. And also growing spiritually, because you're going to experience some spiritual enlightenment through this process, because you're raising your awareness, you're raising your consciousness. But it's a great journey. It's very fun. It's very exciting. And anyone that's having like trouble with these issues, if you need someone to really hold your hand, walk you through the process on a day-to-day basis, we do that. You can check out my website at alka-clean.com. That's alka-clean.com. And we have plenty of testimonials working with so many different types of health problems with great success. So you can always reach out to us if you need some one-on-one guidance. And other than that, guys, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And let's just stay positive with everything, because we can heal our bodies, and it just takes the process of doing this, you know, and having the knowledge and the awareness of what to do to heal ourselves. So hope you all